This is the Fight Night Daily Podcast. Myself, Gareth Davis, with Spencer Oliver here, just minutes after an extraordinary performance by Chris Eubank Jr. to stop Liam Smith in a performance of magnitude, so much so that you called it. That was pure world class from him tonight, Spencer Oliver.
Listen, that was a career best performance by Chris Eubank Jr. And the reasons I say it was a career best performance is because of the psychological damage he had to overcome, the demons he had to overcome from the last fight. You know, the way that the last fight went, you know, the devastating knockout that he had to overcome from the last fight. That was something quite sensational. It really was. Like, listen, when a fighter goes in there, and something like that's happened to him from in the previous fight, and he turns it around like that, because that was a one-sided beatdown, right? Let's have it right here. You know, take nothing away from Liam Smith, because I'm going to get into, you know, how courageous, how tough, how he bit down on his gum shield and, you know, all of that. But that was a one-sided beatdown. Chris Eubank Jr., for me, put in a career best performance, dominated from the opening round. And I think the big turnaround for me was that uppercut, that textbook uppercut that he throws in the fifth round. That was the beginning of the end for Liam Smith. And there was a problem as well, Gareth. I want to get into this as well. There was a problem that I recognised early in the fight with Liam Smith. His balance, his feet.
It looked like his ankle had gone.
Yeah, but it looked like the coordination was not there. It was really concerning me. Like,
he was never in the fight.
No,
he was never in the fight, even though, like you say, his courage, his bravery, his tenacity kept him in it. In a way, I think he could have been pulled out a round earlier.
Yeah, I agree.
And there was a moment where the towel looked like it was coming.
He's got that fighter's mentality.
Let me throw some questions at you. Chris Eubank Jr. tonight looks like he's found the perfect coach as well. Look, I like that. He needs to prove himself, and he's finally in his career thought, you know what, I'm gonna change my game. But he's found in Brian McIntyre, Bomac, who trains Terence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson. I think he's found the perfect foil for what he's got to do now in the last maybe couple of years of his career.
Listen, I think what he recognised was that actually that the knockout really hit a nerve where he goes, listen, now my career, because he said to me in the week actually on Wednesday, he said, listen, for the first time in my life, first time in my career, I feel like my back's up against the wall. You know, I feel like I'm under pressure. And that brought the best out in Chris, because what he done was he actually took it serious for the first time in his career. Well, he went and got a nutritionist. You know, he looked great on the scales. Yes. You know, when they was in there tonight, they looked like guys that were 2 weight divisions apart. You know, he'd done the weight right. Tactically, Bomac said he didn't want to. Bomac didn't want to change anything. Bomac said, "Let's go back to basics. All I want Chris to do is switch on for 3 minutes of each round," and that's what they've done. Credit to the whole team for that.
But what he did, let's not forget, what he did early in the fight was punch and grab like Lawrence Okoli does, or like Joe Calzaghe used to do, like Bernard Hopkins has done.
He needed to grow into it.
No, but what he also did is he nullified Smith very early on and let him see that he was as strong, if not stronger physically. Sure. I think that worked on Smith's mind as well. For me, he's put himself in contention now. If Golovkin wants to fight him, if Saul Canelo Alvarez wants to fight him, if he wants to fight them, there's brilliant fights there out there for him. Have you seen the comments from Conor Benn straight away afterwards? Yeah. If you meet me at 160, Chris Eubank Jr., I'll destroy you in 4 rounds. I don't see that.
Sorry, mate. You're just falling asleep a little bit there, mate. Sorry. Yeah, no, come on. Let's get real here. Look, Conor, clear your stuff up, and then we can talk about fights. We all want to see it. We all want to see it. It's a dream fight.
You've been smarmy now.
No, I'm saying
I'm only kidding.
We all do want to see it, but get cleared up first. And once you've cleared that up, then let's talk about a fight. There's other fights, bigger fights out there now for Chris. Let him fulfill his dream of boxing for a world title, because on that performance, that was a world-class performance. Yeah. On that performance, he can match any of the world champions. Go and chase your dream, as opposed to these fights that are, you know, they're money fights.
I'll say this: what a performance! What a night for Chris Eubank Jr. Yeah. And he's speaking to talkSPORT again.
Do you know what? I like that fiery little thing that you had there. Do you know what? I've not seen that in you for a while. I've been concerned about you for a while, because I've never seen something really like.
I'm so fucking stoked after tonight's event, because what we saw was majesty from Chris Eubank Jr.
It was.
In an atmosphere where he was the underdog.
Oh, can we talk about the atmosphere, please?
The atmosphere was fucking amazing.
It was insane.
Right, no more of those words for me. That's
but
it.
the atmosphere was absolutely insane. You know, the
How
AO
insane was
Arena,
it?
the AO Arena. That reminded me of going back to 2005 when Ricky Hatton boxed Kostya for the IBF light welterweight world title. The atmosphere was very similar to that. I mean, it was absolutely electric. We cover fights all over the world, week in, week out. That, for me, was one of the best atmospheres I've been at. Like I say, it's been a long time since I've been at an atmosphere like that.
We'll come back to Eubank and Smith finally in a minute and talk about the trilogy, but let's just talk about a couple of other people on the card. Fraser Clark and Adam Azim, yeah? Adam Azim first. Very tough opponent in Fanyan tonight, Ukrainian with 25 fights. It was Adam Azim's 9th fight. I thought he was very impressive.
Absolutely. Listen, it was a first-class performance. He was boxing a guy that had 24 fights, won 23, only lost one back in 2008.
Very tough.
Very tough. Very
game
well schooled.
That counter left hook. Yeah.
He had the game plan, but what Adam Azim showed us tonight, which we hadn't seen so far in his very short career, was that he's got that adaptability.
Levels.
And that is, adaptability levels. That is what champions are made of. And that's what he proved tonight. You know, it's all about, he's very much on that development stage at the moment, but every fight, he's ticking a box. He's moving on, saying, right, he's got that, he's got that. You know, they're talking about European titles now. What was that, his 8th fight tonight?
9th.
The 9th fight tonight. And they're talking about European titles already. I'm in danger of losing my title. You know I won the European title in my 11th fight, don't you, Grant? Anyway, it's another story. But, so you know that one? Yeah, but
we've got an audience out here, by the way, tonight.
Yeah.
So Spencer's playing to the crowd.
Yeah, I'm not. So, look, I thought it was a world-class performance from Adam. You know, he showed...
World-class?
Absolutely, showed great composure. He was against a brilliant fighter.
He showed some chops tonight as well.
Great composure, great patience, shot selection.
Yeah.
And when he had to turn the screw, and when he had to turn it up, like great fighters do, he done it. And that was the difference.
Absolutely. Fraser Clark, Dave Allen's team were complaining that were low blows. Obviously, there were low blows.
I can't get into low blows with you again.
We won't go too deep into low blows. Please. But it was a low blow a week ago, yeah?
No, it wasn't. Anyway.
Or it wasn't, but it's debatable.
Yeah.
A funny fight, really. Dave Allen not throwing anything for 3 or 4 rounds, really.
But that's Fraser what Dave Allen does, though, to be fair.
He does, and he's looking for the big overhand right.
He's got great.
Yeah.
He's a very great
tough guy.
Even when he's on the offense, he's very great defensively.
The offense.
Yeah, when he's on the front foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's very great defensively. Yeah, he doesn't. There was no offense coming. Actually, he was throwing nothing really, but he was coming forward. But he was slipping, sliding, and making Fraser work. I was a bit disappointed really from Fraser Clark. I
thought he was decent tonight.
No, what I'm saying is
he mixed it a bit.
I wanted to see him go through the levels a bit more.
What we're not seeing from him, and he said it to us afterwards. Yeah. I need to work on my power, and it's power and timing.
It's not his power that I was concerned about. I just want to see him go through the gears more because I know he's got it. He's a great fighter, Fraser Clark, and he's a great character, and he's brilliant for the sport. But I'm not seeing what I know that he's got so far. It's not clicked yet.
Yeah. Jack Cullen tonight winning the British super middleweights.
What a performance.
And British and Commonwealth. What a knockout.
Wow.
What a stoppage. A real little lever's meat cleaver. 6'5" of him. Yeah. Very popular victory for him up this way.
Huge performance from him.
Against Heffron.
Heffron was a big favourite, by the way, going into that one.
6-1 he was.
And I saw Jack in the street today, walking up the streets today. I said, and I bumped into him and he said, listen, this is quite simple for me. We sparred hundreds of rounds together. He said, all I've got to do is keep it long. He said, if I get into a fight with him, and because I like to have a fight, and he said, if that happens, he said, there's a good chance, a good possibility I'm going to get knocked out. So all I know I've got to do, I've got to stick to the game plan, and I'll win this fight easily. And that's what he done. But he said it to me like that.
Final one before we put low blows into the cupboard and we head off to the after party, because we're going to have a couple of little sherbets at the after party, a couple of little tequilas, hopefully, if they have tequila there. Only silver, by the way. But here's the key. Here's the last question, Spencer.
Go.
Because it's late now.
Let's do it.
It's past the witching hour.
Come on.
Should there be a trilogy fight now between Liam Smith and Chris Eubank Jr.?
I think that Liam deserves that, if I'm honest. Even though, the first fight was so conclusive in Liam Smith's favour, second one so conclusive in Eubank's favour. I hope Eubank does the right thing. Says, listen, I'll give you the trilogy. You know, I think that there's an appetite there still for it. Yeah. What we saw tonight was absolutely insane. Why not? I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Great to see you, Spencer. You have a cold beer now. I'll have a tiny little tequila before we hitchhike back to London in the morning. You've been watching our final podcast of the week. Don't miss his show with Simon Jordan. My show this week was Sonny Edwards, by the way, in midweek. And we'll be back next weekend with Fight Night Extra. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And also, guys, do not forget, September the 23rd, Joyce versus Zhale Zhang, the rematch, live and exclusive, only on talkSPORT. Over and out, baby.
Peace and out.